Hello, YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of these amazing social media platforms that we have where we can share information and knowledge about different subjects. I want to introduce myself. I am Peggy Zielinski, and I'm the owner of a company called Our Inward Journey. And my background is primarily psychology, social work. I even have some titles in the physical fitness industry through the can't even remember the company or the organization now, but the one that is the one that runs the all of the big time Olympia, Figure Olympia organization and all of that. So NPC, the Natural Physique Committee. I am a qualified competitor on that level. So some physical fitness background, lots of mental fitness background, psychology, social work. And then over the past 10 years, I have been in the process of a spiritual awakening. So lots of broad information that I am dying to bring to you guys. And I want to do that live in this live format on a relatively regular basis. And the big focus of my life right now is on mindfulness and meditation. And so I am a teacher who is eligible to teach the mindfulness-based stress reduction program that was designed by Jon Kabat-Zinn out of UMass Medical and Brown University. And so what I have learned through all of the ups and downs of my life, and please comment, say hello in the comment section. Let me know who you are if you're tuning in. And I would love to have your input into topics, ideas, things that you would like to learn more about, because I have a long history of both education and experience to bring to this format. And my real passion is in, like, as I said, mindfulness. How are we managing to pay attention to our thoughts? Because what's happening is I sort of live in the bridge between science and spirituality. I love the education and the information that science tells us. I love the documenting of what we can, quote, prove to be true. And at the same time, I also love the mystery. So, oh, good. I'm so glad you joined. And be sure to ask any questions that you might have about mindfulness or meditation. But I love the not knowing, right? And so we live our lives in the middle of this, knowing and not knowing. And so are we learning to be the witness of that? And so mindfulness is very much about being able to separate ourselves from our thoughts, to literally pay attention to what you are thinking. So the name of this series is What Are You Thinking? Because what you're thinking is what you're going to experience in your life. And so this course of mindfulness and learning how to extrapolate, to come away from the roller coaster of life enough to watch it from this non-judgmental seat of consciousness. Can we watch what's going on in our minds? Can we witness the monkey mind instead of flying on the branches in between all of these thoughts and ideas that we have? And so I'm so excited to come on board here on a regular basis and really talk about tools. What can we be doing? For example, right now in the coronavirus situation, it's such a beautiful and painful thing. And I love beginnings and endings. I love being in the middle of the extremes. And so here we are in the middle of this pandemic. And on the one hand, it is painful and it's scary and it's uncertain and it's, we're stuck and we're trapped and we feel like we don't have any choices. And on the other hand, we're allowed to be, like, we're given permission to not work, right? We're given permission to be still. And it's a beautiful opportunity. So are we able to kind of allow for both of those things? Can we accept and allow the fact that this is challenging? And can we also lean into the possibilities that it's creating for us? Kind of this pushing the reset button. Oh, yoga teacher. Wonderful. I'm so glad you joined, Laura. Please communicate in here. Let me know what you'd like to learn more about. So yoga, even as Laura is saying, yoga is a moving meditation. So even the things that you may not think about as meditation, once you understand that the idea is to witness, you really can see where mindfulness is not just about becoming a good stillness meditator. It's actually about how can we be mindful while we're moving through life. And so yoga is this beautiful bridge, right? Where Maybe you may have a challenge being still. It might have some, challenges with anxiety and racing thoughts and things like that going on, right? So yoga is a beautiful way to pay attention to your body while it's moving. So for it's a nice bridge, and sometimes people have a hard time being still, and they can begin with mindful movement and work towards stillness. Other people do really great with stillness, and then they actually have to work toward being able to be mindful while they're moving. And so these beautiful practices are so intertwined, and it's so beautiful when you're willing and able and open to learning all of the different ways we can approach mindfulness. So that's the hope with this whole series that I'll be doing about what are you thinking? How can we start to notice our lives, like really be fully immersed in the process of living life fully? And John Kabat-Zinn wrote a book called Full Catastrophe Living. So, are we living all the moments in our life, even the painful ones? Are we allowing them to move through us and, feel the pain and the tragedy of what's going on? Can we sit in that witness chair and let these feelings ripple through us? And that's part of the whole mindfulness practice, the allowing of what is instead of this resistance that we have about wanting it to be different. So as you're sitting at home, right now I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm looking out the window. It's a gorgeous sunny day. The sky is blue. As you are, quote, confined, can you find the joy in that? First of all, can you find it? Is it quiet? Can you enjoy that? Can you find the beauty in the solitude? Are you noticing that freedom from not having to do so much? Or if you are busier than usual because your kids are home, are you noticing the joy in being with your kids? Are you noticing what they're doing? Are you learning from them? Are you communicating with them? How can we sit in this witness spot and really notice what's happening in our lives, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as they say? So that's what we'll be talking about over this series. I'll be bringing in meditations, tools, techniques, concepts. We will look at how you think about money. We'll look at how you think about love. We'll look at how you think about relationships, communication, health, right? There's so many things that are going on in our lives that if we sit in the witness chair and we look at it, oh, wow, you're from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm actually originally from Ann Arbor. So very, very cool. My daughter is living up there in Pinckney as well. So I come to Michigan quite a bit. But the whole goal is, can we learn to sit back and watch our lives happening and notice what's happening? I share Bob Proctor videos all the time. I'm a huge fan of Bob Proctor. I saw him in person at a convention last October. His energy, and that's a part of the series. We'll be talking about the Think and Grow Rich principles because it has a lot to do with it, right? What are you thinking as it relates to abundance? What are you thinking about if you want to get somewhere in life, whether it's through these principles, in other words, getting abundance and money and security and all of those things, whatever you want is directly related to, well, whatever you receive in life is directly related to what you're thinking. And so this is such an important topic that we are noticing what we're thinking. Because on the other side of that, the other side of noticing are habit patterns. And habit patterns are what we do without thinking, right? What are we doing in our lives that we're not thinking about? Because if we're not paying attention, we can't change them. We have no power over our thoughts if we're not paying attention to them. So what we're going to be doing in this series is really working on how we can become more aware of those thoughts. How can we notice them, step out of it long enough to actually notice that something's happening, and then select, right? Make a conscious response instead of a reaction. Can we respond consciously to what is showing up in our lives without falling into the grooves of our habit patterns? So, and it is a daily, ongoing practice. Meditation and mindfulness practice is called a practice for a reason because we're never there. We never fully arrive. We're always practicing. And the key to that is to always start again, right? The key is in the noticing that we've wandered. noticing that we've fallen back into habit patterns. And when we notice it, we have an opportunity. And that opportunity is to come back to now and make a conscious decision. Where do we want our thoughts to be now? And now, and now. And every moment is another opportunity. So we'll move through life, we'll move through this series, and each moment you will receive what shows up. So I am highly intuitive. I do a lot of these talks right after I've meditated, and I am going to provide to you what shows up. So I'm going to open up and allow things to come through, let you get to know me a little bit better, and hopefully, and all importantly, get to know you a little better. So join me on the ride. Be sure you're watching. Make sure you click on that subscribe button. Make sure that you're following so that you're hearing the posts, you're getting the information when I go live so you can join me. And I will try to go live pretty much at this time of the day because that kind of meets all the different coasts and everything, makes it available to pretty much everybody. So it'll be around this time of the day. But watch for the series. And if you have ideas on things you'd like to know more about, I've been to India. I've been in front of John of God twice in Brazil, and that's a really controversial thing. I've done Vipassana retreats, 10 days in silence, 3 or 4 of them now. I have an expansive background. I've met Ram Dass and had breakfast with him. I've met Wayne Dyer. I've met Greg Braden. I have an amazing and interesting history that I will unroll during this series over the next several videos. So you'll get a little bit of a sense. I'm writing a book. So that's going to be coming out called Dropping the Costumes. And so there's so much that I have to give to you. I just wanted to do a quick intro video right now for you. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure if you know anybody that you think might be interested in this content that you share this with them and invite them to subscribe. And let's go on this incredible inward journey together. All right. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. And don't forget to take your own inward journey in stillness and take this opportunity that we have right now to just be in stillness and quiet and hear what shows up for you and what your inner voice has to say to you. All right. I am forever mindfully yours. Love you.